For our first story, we are going to be talking about Ariana Grande admitting to plastic surgery. You heard me right, this two-time Grammy winner, who is also known for her multiple talents when it comes to acting, singing, and now even being a brand owner for her cosmetic line, REM Beauty. She has recently spoken up about her fillers that she has received in the past. In the September 12 video about Vogue Secrets, Ariana was doing a makeup tutorial on how she does her 60s cat eye and pretty in pink makeup look. She actually gets emotional when discussing her past usage of cosmetic surgery, specifically Botox and lip filler, as she begins by talking about how her relationship with beauty and how it has changed, especially since she was in the eye of the public while she was so young. During that time, she was exposed to many voices when it came to how she looked and expressed how difficult it was. Especially when you're an impressionable child, words that people have to say about you often stick with you, and your whole perspective on yourself can change. She opened up about how she used to use makeup as a disguise and something to hide behind, and it doesn't ever seem to be enough as she constantly begins to do more and more. She even discusses how although sometimes it can be a look, it is no longer her intention when it comes to makeup. Now she views makeup as a way to express herself or to accentuate what features she already has naturally. She further describes how all of our relationships with beauty are personal and different, but we all have the same goal to feel our best and to be loved. While applying her lip products on screen, she opens up about how she's had a ton of lip filler over the years and Botox, but did say she stopped using filler back in 2018. She said she wanted to stop using filler because she felt like she was hiding behind them. While Ariana is saying all of this, she begins to tear up on camera as she shares her insecurities and is very vulnerable with her emotions. She further talks about how beauty for a long time was a way to hide, but now she's beginning to view beauty through a different way. Even though she stopped getting these procedures in 2018, she clarifies by saying she doesn't know if she will use them again in the future, but you never know. As of right now, she's actually beginning to view her so-called well-earned smile and cry lines, and discusses how it can be viewed as such a beautiful thing as they get deeper and deeper over time, which showcases and represents all of her smiles as she begins to show how aging is a beautiful thing. She also discusses how she maybe in the future get a facelift, but she wants people to be able to discuss these topics, especially when the Vogue video is all about beauty secrets. Not only was she transparent about her fillers, but she was also discussing her fine lines and wrinkles and other changes in her skin as she continues to age, which many people in the comments have said how they gained much more respect for her because she is speaking up about these topics that many celebrities never discuss. Especially in this industry, aging is honestly something many people are afraid to show, and it is great to hear how Ariana is using her platform to share the normal signs of aging, and even stars like herself don't fit into the Hollywood beauty standards naturally. As Ariana admitted to have stopped using any filler in the most recent years, it is clear she is embracing her natural self and learning to love her face as she continues to age, and instead is viewing makeup through a different perspective. Most of the public's response to this video is honestly very positive, as many are preaching the star for being so open and transparent about her past procedures and her feelings towards them. It is not very often for celebrities to discuss what they have had done, which many say can be damaging, especially to the young and impressionable audience they have looking up to them. Beauty standards can be extremely toxic, and it is refreshing to see someone like Ariana be so open and vulnerable with her audience. Many celebrities such as the Kardashians have been bashed for not even being able to meet the body standards that they are the ones setting and claiming to be natural and real. What are your thoughts on Ariana opening up about her new perspective on beauty? I think it is such a refreshing and positive outlook Ariana has when discussing the changes in her skin, as it is only natural to show signs of aging while we of course age. We would love to hear from you. Moving on, we are going to be discussing Selena Gomez shading Chris Brown. If you didn't know, the VMAs took place on Tuesday night, and Taylor Swift won 9 awards. Olivia Rodrigo had a planned stage malfunction, and now we are going to be talking about what happened between Selena and Chris Brown. Selena has found herself in a ton of memes as fans seem to love her facial expressions throughout the entire night. One specific moment that is gaining major attention has to do with the nominees for Best R&B, as many noted on the expressions Selena was showing on her face when they were announced. Her face visibly turned sour when Chloe Bailey's collab titled How Does It Feel featuring Chris Brown was announced. She was quick to smile and return clapping for all the other nominees. And do people have stuff to say? Well, Chris Brown is a pretty controversial figure, especially because of his famously known past with Rihanna as well as other legal troubles he has found himself in. In fact, we can't go into detail with what he has done, however, many have chosen not to support Chris Brown as his actions are unforgivable to many. Well, iHeartRadio AU posted the exact moment Selena was captured for her facial expressions. Selena actually responded to this post by joining the comment section writing, and later even posted on her Instagram story stating, "I will never be a meme again. I'd rather sit still than be dragged for being myself. Much love." After the award show was aired, Brown also took it to Instagram stories as he wrote, "Let me mind my business." Let's not dismiss the award Selena won on Tuesday night alongside Rima as they took home Best Afrobeat for the song she was featured in titled Calm Down. This hit song has actually just hit over 1 billion streams on Spotify, which is insane, so congrats to these two. As for what others think about the situation, the internet seems to be siding with Selena on this one, as many have come to her defense on the Instagram post Selena responded to, with users blaming the industry for continuing to give a man like Chris Brown the space and platform he has, especially because of his mistreatment towards women. Many comments are also saying it isn't really a big deal since everyone at home was making the same faces as Selena. Others are agreeing with Selena's comment by saying people are making the situation a whole big deal when in reality she was just making facial expressions and the media is looking a bit too much into it. I mean, sometimes we don't even realize how our face is coming across. Some fans are also calling Selena a girl's girl for siding with Rihanna when it comes to the situation between the two. This situation, however, was not the only time Selena was made into a meme for her facial expressions that night. When Olivia Rodrigo was on stage, she had a planned stage malfunction which caused her to be escorted off the stage while the lights got dark. During this moment, Selena was seen being visibly worried for the young artist as she was unaware this was all intentional. Olivia was quick to hop back onto stage to perform, and people joked about Selena being so worried for Rodrigo's safety that she has become traumatized, with one fan even joking about this being Selena's last VMAs attendance. Especially with today's technology, things begin to spread all over the world within the matter of seconds, and with eyes on you at all times, it can definitely be challenging. And we are talking about the VMAs, which is one of the most anticipated award shows, so it is only within the matter of time before people have opinions and thoughts. What did you think about the 2023 VMAs and the whole situation surrounding Selena and Chris? Moving forward, we are going to be discussing Drew Barrymore being fired. Drew is once again in the media, but this time regarding her being removed as a host for the National Book Award. Just for some quick background on this ongoing situation, we are going to be covering everything that has conspired into this. While Barrymore has been all over the media recently due to her decision to continue her talk show, even though there has been an ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strike. Although she doesn't directly break any violations since her show is a talk show, they will have to go on without any writers. Drew has remained standing her ground as she states, "We are in compliance with not discussing or promoting film and television that is struck of any kind." She even further continued addressing this on Instagram and said, "We launched live in a global pandemic. Our show was built for sensitive times and has only functioned through what the real world is going through in real time. I want to be there to provide what writers do so well, which is a way to bring us together or help us make sense of the human experience. I hope for a resolve for everyone as soon as possible." The public seems to be split on the situation as some writers have disagreed with Drew's decision. One TV personality star, Felicia Day, best known for her role in Supernatural, publicly spoke up against Drew's decision. Others have been understanding and are supporting Drew's continuation of her talk show amid the ongoing strikes. Well, fast forward to this week, specifically the night right before the annual list of National Book Awards began to come out, the National Book Foundation actually announced their decision to drop Barrymore as she was set to be the host for the gala. The foundation released a statement that read, "The National Book Awards is an evening dedicated to celebrating the power of literature and the incomparable contributions of writers to our culture." In light of the announcement that Drew Barrymore's show will resume production, the National Book Foundation has rescinded Mrs. Barrymore's invitation to host the 74th National Book Awards ceremony. "Our commitment is to ensure that the focus on the awards remain on celebrating writers and books, and we are grateful to Miss Barrymore and her team for understanding in this situation." This decision seemed to be made to further draw attention away from Barrymore and her talk show while focusing the main purpose of the book award ceremony, and that is to celebrate the authors. Barrymore has always stood with her decision to continue her talk show even though she has faced a ton of backlash. So yes, this means Drew will no longer be the host for this year's National Book Foundation, but the third season of her talk show is set to premiere on September 18th, which is right around the corner, so we'll be interesting to see the public's opinion once her show is back on air. There has also been a ton of mixed reactions when it comes to the decision, with the obvious endless numbers of memes made dedicated to all of this. In all seriousness, some are still upset and disappointed in Drew and are siding with the foundation for dropping her, as it allows the focus to be on the writers instead. Others are on Drew's side for continuing the show and disagreeing with the book foundation's decision on dropping her as a host. Barrymore has yet to comment on this whole situation, but I would love to hear what you guys think about the National Book Awards dropping Drew as her host, and if you think they made the right decision. At the end of the day, opinions are always going to be mixed when it comes to anything in the public eye. It is interesting to hear what the actual writers and actors on strike have to say about this entire situation.
Angelica Ross has been speaking a lot about her experience filming American Horror Story. She has decided to expose a lot of people, especially her co-star Emma Roberts. On Twitter, she wrote, "If I'm at the point of publicly showing receipts, you can believe I don't have any F's left to give when it comes down to it. And I'm not even done pulling out the receipts." She then brought up Emma Roberts and claimed that she irritated almost every actor on the set of American Horror Story 1984. Angelica said, "Folks seemed like they wanted to fight her all the time because she was playing psychological games on set, like she was playing mind games with people." She also claimed that Emma was transphobic towards her, and she described an incident where the two of them were having a conversation with director John J. Gray when Emma complained to him that she was being mean to her. Gray then tried to defuse the situation by saying, "Okay ladies, that's enough. Let's get back to work." To which Emma apparently said, "Don't you mean lady?" which implied that Angelica was not a woman because she identifies as trans. When speaking about this incident, Angelica said, "My blood is boiling because I'm like, if I say something, it's going to be me that's the problem. I know this because there was someone who spoke about what she was doing and they got repercussions from it. Not her, they did." So she chose not to report it because she felt that she would be retaliated against. After that incident, apparently the two of them didn't speak for the rest of their time filming together. Elsewhere in her life, Angelica claimed that Emma yelled at directors and tried to compare salaries with her co-stars, all because she was trying to make it very clear that she was number one on the call sheet and she was the one in charge. So it sounds like she was terrorizing a lot of people in general, upsetting other actors and throwing her weight around in an insufferable way. Now, as shocking as that story was, there has been an update. Since it went viral, Emma Roberts got word of it and decided to apologize. Angelica said Emma contacted her to talk about what went down. She jumped back on social media thanking Emma for hitting her up and recognizing her behavior was not that of an ally. She said, "I will leave the line open to follow up on your desire to do better and support social justice causes with your platform." But regardless of the apology, people were not so quick to let this story go, and they started calling out Emma for her problematic past behavior. In response to the story, one person tweeted, "I believe this because I've never heard anyone say anything positive about Emma Roberts. She has a history of nastiness towards others." Other people brought up her long history of playing evil characters on screen and said, "Always knew Emma Roberts was low-key playing herself with these mean girl characters, but transphobia? Like, she's going to hell." And of course, when people talk about her shady past, they always manage to bring up Evan Peters and the fact that she was arrested for DV when she physically attacked him. Toxic does not even begin to describe what their relationship was. We're talking about at least 3 breakups and deleting all social media traces of each other. Years ago, it was reported that the two of them got into a heated argument while they were staying at a hotel in Montreal, and that ended up with both stars getting physical. When police arrived, Evan was found with a bloody nose and bite marks on his body, prompting police to take Emma into custody, arresting her for DV. But then her boyfriend decided not to press charges, and they were back together only a few hours later. What's really bizarre is that a couple of days after the fight, photos were shared online of Emma clinging to Evan while sobbing into his arms after news broke of the incident. That story went mega viral at the time, especially because Emma was labeled as the violent one in the relationship, and a lot of fans felt very sorry for Evan. But let's get back to Angelica Ross for a second, because she also went after AHS creator Ryan Murphy. On Twitter, she posted a series of screenshots of email conversations that she had with him, claiming that he ghosted her after saying that he wanted to work with her on another season of AHS, one that caused her to miss out on other opportunities, like a Marvel role. In the screenshots from July of 2020, Ryan Murphy follows up on her idea for a black woman-focused season of AHS. She then shared an email from almost 2 years later sent in where she followed up with him about a project. Throughout all of this time, she had managed to get a role in a Marvel movie, but her contractual obligation to AHS meant that she could not accept a Marvel job, despite not hearing back from Ryan. She said, "I called business affairs for months, trying to get clarity if they were picking up my contract option or if I was okay to tell Marvel that I was available for whenever they were calling me before. I had been auditioning for 3 years for Marvel. It's that I was held in the first position for a long time. So that definitely sounds like a tough situation to be in. And now the question is, who is Taylor Swift's new boyfriend? Philadelphia Eagles star Jason Kelce has claimed that the dating rumors surrounding Taylor Swift and his brother Travis are actually true. So Taylor was rumored to be dating him after it was reported earlier this month they had been quietly hanging out. While neither of them have confirmed the story, Jason admitted on the morning show that he believes they are 100% true. He says he thinks things are going great even though he tries not to get too involved in his younger brother's love life. He said, "I don't really know a lot about what's happening in Travis's love life. You know, his business is his business, and I try to stay out of that world." Travis, who previously dated influencer and broadcaster Kayla Nicole, was first linked to Taylor earlier this month. They were reported to have been hanging out when she visited New York a few weeks ago. Apparently, he first tried to link up with her when her Eras tour came to Kansas City in the summer. He revealed on his New Heights podcast with Jason that he attempted to give her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. He said, "So I was a little butthurt that I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her. She doesn't meet anybody, or at least she didn't want to meet me, so I took it personal." Jason jokingly guessed that Taylor refused to meet with him because of her known fondness for the Eagles. She even referenced her Eagles t-shirt hanging from the door in her song Gold Rush from Evermore, which was her 9th studio album. Jason said she probably just hasn't gotten over the Super Bowl yet. She's a big Eagles fan, so maybe she just made something up and just didn't want to talk to you. But either way, it's very difficult to pin down Taylor's love life right now, and for good reason. I mean, she just got out of a 6-year relationship, and if she wants to explore her options or just stay single for a while, she has every right to do so. Of course, that's not going to stop fans from speculating. They went absolutely wild when she was spotted kissing Maddie Healy at a restaurant in New York City. They were on a double date with Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley. According to eyewitnesses, neither of them had ordered any food. Instead, they were mostly just cuddling and kissing. At that point, it was said that they had been dating for about 2 months and were super in love. An inside source said, "It's super early days, but it feels right. They first dated very briefly almost 10 years ago, but the timing just didn't work out. They are both massively proud and excited about this relationship. And unlike Taylor's last one, which was very much kept out of the spotlight, she wants to own this romance and not hide it away." Later on, another insider spoke to Us Weekly and explained that the two of them run in the same circle of friends. Maddie recently performed at Taylor's concert in Nashville. He was seen in the VIP section cheering her on while intensely focusing on the music. The pair fueled romance rumors even further when they seemingly repeated the same phrase during recent respective performances. So while she was singing the song Cardigan, Taylor looked at the camera and mouthed the words, "This is about you, you know who you are, I love you." And Maddie did something similar at his concert in the Philippines, which of course was something that fans picked up on. These two clips were then posted side by side on TikTok, and it seemed like they were sending these secret messages to each other. But Maddie Healy was not the only guy Taylor was rumored to be spending time with. A few months ago, the internet sincerely believed that she was dating Formula One driver Fernando Alonso. Like many other rumors, this one started on the popular blind item Instagram account Dumois. The site shared an anonymous email which read, "A couple of Spanish magazines have been posting about TS and Spanish Formula One driver Fernando Alonso. According to them, the couple had been seeing each other for about a week, but it was nothing serious." Now, you might be quick to discount the post given that Dumois is more about speculation than facts, but you do have to remember that they have accurately predicted new celebrity couples before. In fact, their most recent prediction was Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny, then Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet, both of which turned out to be true. So take these posts with a grain of salt, but do not discount them completely. In fact, this time around, they might have been onto something once again, because Alonso actually ended up hinting that there might be some truth to the rumors. He posted a video of himself on TikTok where he was listening to a sped up version of Taylor Swift's song Karma. Alonso then winked at the camera at the end of the video, so he was kind of encouraging it, which didn't really help Taylor's case. Now, what on earth is going on with Lorde? She recently opened up about her mystery illness and fans are really concerned. She shared that she stopped taking the medication she's had for the past decade. In a new message to fans, she wrote, "The little yellow pill I took every morning for thousands of mornings since I was 15, I stopped taking it 5 days ago. Gonna see how it goes." The decision comes amid ongoing health issues that have plagued her this year. She said, "My body is really inflamed, it's trying to tell me something and I'm trying to support it, but nothing seems to help and I get frustrated. My gut isn't working properly. My skin is worse than ever. I've gotten sick half a dozen times." Lorde then got candid on her relationship with her body and explained that she felt like she had previously neglected it. She realized earlier this year that listening to her body is hard because it's something that she never really learned how to do. She said she's trying to teach herself how to do that this year, but it's been really hard and confronting because it made her fully aware of all the times that she ignored it or didn't give it what it needed. In addition to her health, Lorde said she's living with heartbreak again, which she says is different but the same. Quote, "I ache all the time. I forget why and then I remember. I'm not trying to hide from the pain. I understand now that the pain isn't something to hide from, that there's actually great beauty in moving with it. But sometimes I'm sick of being with myself." While her distressing letter did not explicitly mention her relationship troubles with her new music executive boyfriend Justin Warren, fans have been quick to speculate that this is what she was alluding to. Lorde is known for being notoriously private and has only made 2 posts on Instagram since joining the website 2 years ago. In October of 2021, she sparked rumors that she was engaged to her boyfriend Justin Warren as she attended a red carpet event with a diamond ring on her finger. She showed off a stunning diamond sparkler at Variety's Power of Women event in LA, and Lorde and Justin were first photographed frolicking on the beach together in 2016. But at the time, Justin dismissed the rumors that they were dating. So clearly, she is someone who just loves to protect her privacy, which in the long run would be a lot better for her relationships. Despite the health scare, she is still optimistic about the future and said that she knows she's going to look back on this year with fondness and a bit of awe, knowing it was a year that locked everything into place. So there's been a shocking update on the Lil Tay death hoax situation, and the story has taken a turn for the unexpected. Apparently, it wasn't random hackers who posted about her death, it was in fact her father, Christopher J. Hope. As we all know now, Tay was the victim of a cruel hoax alleging that she and her brother had died, although she later came out saying that she was very much alive and that her social media accounts had been hacked. Now, more than a month later, she says that her father was to blame. She posted a shocking photo of him, and in big bold letters, the post said, "My racist, misogynistic father faked my death." And now Christopher has responded to these claims that he was behind it all. He slammed the post as 100% false and denied all the accusations. He told TMZ, "The person who is responsible for that Instagram post, as well as anyone repeating the completely false and libelous accusation within it, are virtually certain to become defendants in a defamation lawsuit." Wow. He said that everything stated is 100% false and that he trusts this should be obvious to anyone who knows him or the long history of this absurd and untrue statement made by the various people who have controlled the Instagram account. Lil Tay's parents have been embroiled in a custody dispute for years and years. Last month, her mother finally broke her silence, saying that she came to an agreement with their father after years of feuding. It was decided that Lil Tay would live with her mother Angela, who will have sole decision-making power. The Lil Tay Instagram account released a statement from their legal team claiming that her father will have to pay $275,000 in back child support, and he'll have to continue making monthly payments until she reaches adulthood. They said that Lil Tay's career can finally resume with Angela in sole control, which must be something that she's happy about considering all the chaos of the past few years. So back in 2018, her dad got a court order requiring her to stop making online content and return to Vancouver. He said, "Everyone else involved in the situation is motivated by money and the possibility of making money off of my daughter. I am not fighting about money, I am fighting for my daughter, for her happiness and her future." Since that time, Tay's social media accounts have been dark. In 2020, the court allowed her to move back to LA, and when speaking about the legal victory, her mom claimed that she has been financially ruined fighting for her daughter's rights and freedom, which she says should have never been taken away in the first place. After they won their case in court, she said she can finally move on from this nightmare. This change in custody means that Lil Tay is most likely going to be back on social media after 5 years away from it. So it's going to be interesting to see which direction she chooses to go in now that she finally has a little more control over her life. This is a really good development considering how shocked people were at her supposed death. The statement was shared to her more than 3 million Instagram followers, claiming that her and her brother Jason had passed away, but they offered literally no explanation about how or when this occurred. The statement read, "It is with a heavy heart that we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing. We have no words to express the unbearable loss and indescribable pain. This outcome was entirely unexpected and it has left us all in shock. Her brother's passing adds an even more unimaginable depth to our grief. During this time of immense sorrow, we kindly ask for privacy as we grieve this overwhelming loss, and the circumstances surrounding Claire and her brother's passing are still under investigation." But of course, we later found out that that was just a horrible, horrible twisted hoax. TMZ first broke the story that Lil Tay was very much still alive, and she's claiming her Instagram account was compromised and used to spread jarring misinformation about her and her brother. In a statement from her family, she said, "I want to make it clear that my brother and I are safe and alive, but I'm completely heartbroken and struggling to even find the right words to say. It's been a very traumatizing 24 hours. All day yesterday, I was bombarded with endless heartbreaking and tearful phone calls from loved ones, all while trying to sort out this mess." She also said, "My Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors regarding me, to the point that even my name was wrong. My legal name is Tay Tian, not Claire Hope. The statement continued, saying that Tay thanks Meta for helping her get her Instagram account back, and the phony death statement was eventually removed. What was still unclear was why it took her so long to get the word out that she was alive, especially because she said she was aware that her account was hacked. At the time that all this happened, things looked a little suspicious, and there were just so many unanswered questions. Even now, we don't really know the motivations behind the person who posted that death hoax, but whatever the case may be, it's good that she's finally able to move past it all. Now, did you know that Shakira is facing more than 8 years in prison on new tax fraud charges? Several months ago, the Spanish government accused her of concealing her income, and now prosecutors in Barcelona have announced new charges against her, and they claim that she failed to pay over $9.5 million in taxes on her 2018 income. Officials claim that she used an offshore company based in a tax haven to dodge taxation in Spain. They also say that she failed to declare millions of euros from advance payments that she earned from her El Dorado World Tour in 2018. Shakira's representative said, "She's always acted in accordance with the law and under the advice of the best tax experts." The singer has been linked to Spain since she started dating soccer player Gerard Piqué. The couple lived together in Barcelona with their 2 children until last year, when they ended their 11-year relationship. Over the past decade, Spanish tax authorities have cracked down on soccer stars like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo for not paying their full due in taxes. Those players were found guilty of tax evasion, but they avoided prison time thanks to a provision that allows a judge to waive sentences under 2 years in length for first-time offenders. But in Shakira's case, she might not get off that easy. Last year, a Spanish judge ordered her to stand trial for alleged tax evasion, saying that she failed to pay $20 million in taxes on income that she earned in the span of 2 years. The prosecutors were seeking a prison term of 8 years for her and a fine of $23.5 million should she be found guilty. So they are pushing for the highest possible sentence. Last year, she was accused of failing to pay taxes between 2012 and 2014, a period in which she claims that she did not even live in Spain. But she's since been profiled in a Spanish investigative TV show, and the tax authorities consider this case to be the clearest example of tax fraud they have ever seen. Shakira claimed to be residing in the Bahamas throughout these 2 years, but she was caught by both journalists and the paparazzi, who were actually able to demonstrate that she was living in Barcelona. Tax inspectors only needed to look at the time-stamped photographs of her to determine that they had solid proof that she was spending most of her time in Spain. When the tax agency became suspicious, they started to track her life in Barcelona and look at the hotspots that she frequented, like her hairdresser, where she went literally every week. She was also caught visiting beauty salons and gyms, as evidenced by her credit card payments. It also didn't help that her parents had moved to Barcelona at the end of 2012, so it makes a lot of sense that she would want to stay close to home with her 2 young kids. In an interview with Elle magazine, Shakira doubled down on the denial. She said, "While Gerard and I were dating, I was on a world tour. I spent more than 240 days outside of Spain, so there was no way I qualified as a resident. The Spanish tax authorities saw that I was dating a Spanish citizen and they started to salivate. It's clear that they wanted to go after that money no matter what, but the tax chiefs still came after me with their eyes on the prize." So she says that these accusations are false, and she said, "I paid everything that they claimed I owed, even before they filed a lawsuit, so as of today I owe $0 to them." She insisted that she didn't spend enough time in Spain to be considered a resident of the country, and that she was advised by one of the 4 biggest tax specialist firms in the world that she was doing things correctly and transparently from day one. She instead accused the government of applying pressure in the media and using a salacious press campaign to turn people against her. So she has maintained that her official residence was in the Bahamas, meaning she did not owe the Spanish government those taxes. Her representatives released a statement saying Shakira has always cooperated and abided by the law, demonstrating impeccable conduct as an individual and as a taxpayer, and faithfully following the counsel of PricewaterhouseCoopers, prestigious and globally recognized tax firm. Unfortunately, the Spanish tax office, which loses 1 out of every 2 lawsuits with its taxpayers, continues to violate her rights and pursue yet another baseless case. Shakira is confident that her innocence will be proven by the end of the judicial process. After Shakira chose not to accept a plea deal, prosecutors moved the case forward to trial, and she will be heading to court in November. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. And last but not least, the latest celebrity to be attacked for changing their appearance seems to be Jennifer Lawrence. And this just proves that people love to drag someone's looks no matter how good they actually look. So photos of Jennifer taken at Paris Fashion Week have now ignited cosmetic surgery rumors online. She attended Dior's Spring-Summer 2024 show looking fabulous, but it was supposed alterations to her face that caught social media users' attention. And of course, course, everyone seemed to have an opinion on it. The comment section was pretty much as you would have expected. People wrote things like, "What happened to her face? No way this is Jennifer Lawrence." And then came the accusations of fillers and Botox, and others saying that she ruined her natural beauty, with tweets like, "It's their choice of course, but it's really sad that these women think they need basic plastic surgery to stay beautiful." Thankfully though, there were some people who came to her defense and wrote, "Her face just looks swollen. I don't think this is a surgery or injectable procedure." Someone else said, "I love how Jennifer Lawrence used a little too much lip liner, and now there's posts saying that her cosmetic surgeon should die." In reality, people are just fishing for an excuse to put down women, and if they have plastic surgery, it's justified. Jennifer Lawrence is one of the highest paid actresses in the world, as well as one of the most famous. We all know she's a bit of a workaholic and has certainly kept very busy since having catapulted her way to fame as Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. But with worldwide fame and success, unfortunately, comes worldwide criticism of her weight, especially for women. According to her, she was actually body shamed long before she became a household name. In fact, she admitted to Harper's Bazaar first that people started calling her fat from a very young age, all the way at the beginning of her career. Quote, "It was just the kind of stuff that actresses have to go through. Someone told me I was fat, that I was going to get fired if I didn't lose a certain amount of weight. They brought in pictures of me where I was basically naked and told me to use them as motivation for my diet. It was just that." She said at the time it really hurt, but she chose not to let it get her down. She added that she'll never let it happen to her again, and if anyone tries to whisper the word diet, she would go and tell them to F themselves. She even admitted that she received a request from a producer to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks. In an interview with People magazine in 2017, she recounted an audition experience early on in her career, where she was asked to strip naked and then body shamed by producers. She said, "During this time, a female producer had me do a nude lineup with about 5 women who were much thinner than me. We stood side by side with only tape covering our privates. After that degrading and humiliating lineup, the female producer told me I should use the naked photos of myself as inspiration for my diet." The latest speculation isn't the first time she has battled cosmetic surgery rumors. In 2022, a very cruel Instagram account shared side-by-side photos of her comparing her early career appearance with her current look. Some people suggested that she had had a nose job and upper blepharoplasty, where surgeons remove excess skin from the upper eyelid. But of course, that's not always the case, and there are usually a lot of other explanations for a changing appearance. So it's upsetting that people are still doing the same thing on Twitter.
Firstly, Lizzo just won an award despite having 2 lawsuits against her. The Black Music Action Coalition Gala took place on September 21st. The BMAC is an organization that was formed in order to address systemic racism in the music industry. However, one winner made many turn heads due to all the recent backlash she has been under fire for, and that of course is Lizzo. She has been all over the news within the last few weeks because of all the claims her past dancers and now even stylists had to say about her. In fact, she's currently facing 2 lawsuits due to all these allegations, and she was actually hit with the second lawsuit just hours before this event started. Lizzo received the Quincy Jones Humanitarian Award at the gala, where she actually skipped the red carpet but hit the stage to accept this award. She told the crowd while wiping away her tears, quote, "I really needed this right now. God's timing is on time. I didn't write a speech because I don't know what to say in times like these." She then proceeded to thank BMAC as this award was different from the one she usually receives. She even then further said, "Humanitarianism in its nature is thankless, it's selfless. To be kind to someone isn't a talent, everyone can do it. It's a gift that you give." Lizzo also took the time to appreciate individuals who show kindness every day but don't get the recognition they deserve, and she then said, "Because of that, I've dedicated my life and I've decided to share my platform to shine a light on those people because I so badly want to live in a world where we award goodness with our attention." The reason why this took many by surprise is due to the recent allegations Lizzo was facing. The lawsuits have accused Lizzo for not only creating a hostile work environment but also harassment, as it made many of her staff members uncomfortable and they felt unsafe. Most recently, her costume designer accused Lizzo for creating a sexualized and racially charged workplace environment. Asha Daniels, who designed Lizzo's costumes during her 2023 tour, has sued for failure to prevent a hostile work environment along with sexual harassment and racial discrimination, according to the lawsuit that was obtained by Fox News Digital. The suit revealed Daniels is not only accusing Lizzo, but also her wardrobe manager Amanda Norma for also contributing to the bullying and harassment. Apparently Nomura forced the performers to change in front of men who would actually, quote, lewdly gawk at these women. Not only that, but she was also accused of doing her own impression on black women in front of these performers and referred to them as fat, useless, and dumb, which shocked many, especially because many fans appreciated Lizzo for her body positivity, and now with all these allegations of fat shaming, some are left disappointed. Daniel's lawyer Ronald Sombrano said Lizzo is the boss, so the buck stops with her. She has created a sexualized and racially charged environment on her tours that her management staff sees as condoning such behavior, and so it continues unchecked. Before further adding, Lizzo certainly knows what's going on, but chooses not to put an end to this disgusting and illegal conduct and participates herself. However, this was not Lizzo's first and only lawsuit, as back in July, she was accused of creating a hostile work environment, and it wasn't her stylist this time. It wasn't her stylist that sued her, but it was her, not one, not two, but three of her dancers, Ariana Davis, Krista Williams, and Noel Rodriguez. They claimed while working for Lizzo, they were exposed to an overtly sexual atmosphere that permeated their workplace. In fact, they claimed Lizzo would force them to touch the breasts of other female performers, and even had an incident in Amsterdam where Lizzo apparently requested her dancers to attend a nude performance and also pressured them to eat bananas out of these performers' private areas. After this news broke out, a resurfaced video of Lizzo showing interest in these banana adult shows was released, as she spoke about it in a 2019 interview. And because Lizzo is their boss, many of them were scared to come forward with their claims, as one former dancer stated, "So many performers have heard about how lucky they are, how so many people want to do what they are doing, and that they are replaceable." The power dynamic played a role, as these women were afraid to face any repercussions if they didn't listen to Lizzo. However, these are all currently just allegations, as nothing has been finalized in court as of now. What are your thoughts on Lizzo winning this award, and what do you think about these lawsuits against her? Let's move on to our next story that has fans split. We all know many fans were shocked when rumors started circulating that Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet were dating. The rumors began in April of this year, as some spotted the two on a secret taco day in Santa Monica. There were also photos of Kylie's Range Rover outside of Timothy's Beverly Hills home, which sparked all these rumors for the past few months. However, the two officially confirmed their relationship publicly on September 4th at a Beyoncé concert. Fans had their eyes on the couple, as some even photographed the two kissing and holding each other. Some people are critical and unsure if this relationship is serious, as many believe it is a PR stunt. A fan account that goes by @ClubChalamet on X, formerly known as Twitter, recently went viral for the tweets they posted. They wrote, "After months and months of gossip media, bombardment, gossip speculation, sources from the Kardashian-Jenner camp, her people stalking Timothy's private residence, and his obvious avoidance of her has finally paid off and had her primary objective met. Timothy has now played her hand and relented. That woman has now been redeemed in the eyes of her fans, investors, and the media. She's a brand that needs to be rehabilitated, whatever type of blackmail or threat she has on Timmy. She stayed the course because her reputation needed to be cleansed by someone like Timothée Chalamet." It's clear some fans are skeptical of this relationship, and many point their fingers at Kris Jenner for orchestrating it. In fact, The Sun actually spoke to a body language expert, Judy James, who expressed doubt about the authenticity of this couple. Judy stated their underlying signals together lacked synchronicity, as it didn't look authentic. Timothy's distracted kiss was the most impactful sign that he might not be as full-on as Kylie. However, with doubt also comes fans who fully support and believe their relationship. In fact, one user on X, who goes by @FemsAvenue, wrote, "Like, I don't like the Kardashians as much as the next person, but the sheer astonishment surrounding Timothy dating Kylie and the belief that he is somehow too good for her reek of misogyny, and I don't think any of y'all want to unpack that." Many have also made memes surrounding this new couple, with fans comparing them to a Tim Burton character dating a Bratz doll. And a few days ago, Kylie was even photographed holding her phone with her screen facing the paparazzi, which revealed her lock screen. And that was a photo of her all cozy next to Timothy as he kissed her cheek. This confirmed their relationship to some fans, however, others believe this is proof it's a PR stunt. The reason being how she held her phone. The ex-user @Saeed DiCaprio wrote, "Love when I naturally hold my phone with two fingers at the right angle so the cameras can see the full screen," which many seem to agree with, as it has over 244,000 likes. The Kardashians are also known for their planned PR stunts, as many say the devil works hard but Kris Jenner works harder, which explains why many are still unsure how real this couple truly is. Many fans who support this couple have also been comparing Jenner's Instagram posts from when she was with Travis Scott to Chalamet. Fan edits have been circulating all over apps like TikTok TikTok, which showed Jenner's Instagram post showcasing a darker aesthetic while dating Travis, but a more light and uplifting image since she's been with Timothy. Her entire style seemed to change from a more bold and almost baddie-like image to her recent photos that show her outside wearing a blue and white flowy cottagecore dress. But some don't think this is thanks to Timothy, but rather the quote Sophia Richie effect. Due to all the craze over her wedding this year, it seems many have been trying to seek that Sophia Richie aesthetic, and some people think Kylie's just doing that. Do you think this relationship is as serious as they are making it appear to be, or do you think this is all a PR stunt? Honestly, I'm torn between the two sides, but I'd love to hear what your opinions are on this relationship. Next, we're going to be discussing what the Adidas CEO had to say about former partner Kanye West that had many people shaking their heads. Kanye West is a popular artist who was once married to Kim Kardashian. Not only does he have his musical talents, he was also very into fashion, which caused him to create his Yeezy brand that was in partnership with Adidas. In fact, Adidas parted its way from Kanye back in October of 2022 due to all the anti-Semitic posts Kanye was making. He lost a ton of sponsorships, and the biggest one being Adidas. Kanye actually dropped off of the Forbes billionaire list due to all the lost partnerships. Although the collaboration between the two was a huge success as they made millions of dollars, they went their separate ways as the company had different values from Mr. West. In a statement Adidas released at the time, the company said they do not tolerate anti-Semitism and any sort of hate speech, and even states Yee's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. Many thought the partnership was done for good, as it definitely seemed that way for a long time. Although they have lost tens of millions in lost sales, it seemed the company was being responsible while stepping back as they didn't want to associate themselves with someone who was spreading hate. However, the Adidas CEO, Golden, has sparked the media as he actually began to defend Kanye for the comments he made that tore the partnership apart. When he was asked about the situation on the Good Company podcast that aired on September 13th, he said, "I don't think he meant what he said, and I don't think he's a bad person. It just came across that way." Which angered many people because it didn't make sense to them. I mean, Kanye publicly tweeted very obvious and harmful tweets that got him to be restricted off Twitter and Instagram, so it was pretty clear what Kanye's point was. Golden actually continued to praise Kanye as he described Kanye as one of the most creative people in the world, not only in music, but what he calls street culture as well. Another spokesperson from Adidas confirmed the partnership will not be brought back as it has been severed. Quote, "Ending the partnership was appropriate." As he also faced a ton of backlash for wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt to Paris Fashion Week and even dressed his black runway models in the same shirt. It's clear Kanye has a controversial past, but his ex-wife Kim Kardashian has told the public that Kanye has bipolar disorder, which causes mood swings, but many don't think this is an excuse for his behavior. Although Kanye lost a bunch of deals, Adidas has estimated they have $1.3 billion worth of Yeezy inventory when they ended their partnership. That is a ton of money that may explain why the CEO is defending Kanye publicly even after his anti-Semitic posts. But with no plans to bring back this partnership in the future, many just find the CEO's comment to be damaging as he's protecting the harmful comments Kanye once said.
So this is crazy. Taylor Swift just received a very harsh warning from Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, who claimed that he cheated on her years ago and he will most likely do it again. So now it seems like Taylor's new boyfriend from the Kansas City Chiefs has a ton of red flags that she needs to watch out for. Maya Banbury dated Travis for several months back in 2016, and now she's come out of the woodwork to expose him. She spoke to dailymail.com and straight up said that he was unfaithful to her during their relationship. She even used the phrase, "once a cheater, always a cheater," and she addressed Taylor Swift directly. Quote, "Taylor seems like such a fun girl with a beautiful spirit, so I wish her the best of luck. But I wouldn't be a girl's girl if I didn't advise her to be smart. I'm sure by now she has mastered the ability to see who is really there for her and who is just using her. I can only hope that she comes out the teacher in this situation and not the student." So it sounds like Maya had a really bad experience dating Travis Kelce, and she is genuinely trying to warn Taylor about getting involved with him as well. Of course, he has now denied these accusations and accused Maya of just trying to get her 15 minutes of fame. But it's really hard to ignore her comments completely. If it is true, it would certainly be a very disappointing turn of type events, considering how much fans love the idea of Taylor and Travis together. Talk of their romance first started when he revealed on his podcast that he tried to get her attention at her concert with a friendship bracelet and he had his phone number on it. Unfortunately, Taylor had left the stadium before he could get it to her, but she found out about it after the conversation went public. As speculation started to grow, his brother Jason stoked the flames further during an interview where he called the dating rumors 100% true. And he also said that they're doing great together. Eventually, Travis addressed the rumors in his own interview and said, "I threw it out there, I threw the ball in her court." So clearly his invitation did the job, because just a few weeks later, Taylor was seen getting into the game as the Kansas City Chiefs battled the Chicago Bears. She was enthusiastically cheering him on in the VIP section right next to his mother Donna. She was wearing all red and white to show her support for the team and looked like she was just having a blast watching the game. The two of them then left the stadium together in Travis's vintage convertible and spent time together at a private after party in Kansas City. And at that same party, there were said to be several eyewitnesses who saw them kissing and cuddling all throughout the evening. So at this point, they're not really trying to hide the fact that, yeah, they are dating. Which makes it kind of depressing that Travis is now being called out for cheating. So Maya actually dated him after winning his dating reality series called Catching Kelsey. But soon after they split up, she went on to accuse him of cheating on her with sports broadcaster Kayla Nicole. She claimed that there was some overlap with their relationship. On Twitter, she wrote, "When you and your ex broke up 5 months ago, but you find out via social media that he's supposedly been in another relationship for 6. For his part, Travis never really spoke publicly about these claims made by Maya. He only said that it was fake news. But interestingly enough, he also faced allegations of infidelity during his breakup with Kayla Nicole in 2020. Either way, Swifties really just want whatever is best for Taylor. While they might love the idea of her dating again, it's very easy for them to lose their minds with a few rumors floating around. And that's a big part of the reason why Taylor chose not to confirm her relationship with Maddie Healy. Even if it was just a casual thing and they were both having a bit of fun, it somehow turned into a major controversy. Swifties did not support that relationship at all, and they made that very clear, despite the fact that nothing was ever out in the open. So judging from all that drama, it's very easy to see why Taylor chooses to keep her love life super private. In fact, she just got out of a 6-year relationship, so if she wants to explore her options or just stay single, she has every right to do so. Of course, that's not going to stop fans from speculating. They went absolutely wild when she was spotted kissing Maddie Healy at a restaurant in New York City. A few months ago, they were on a double date with Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, neither of them ordered any food. Instead, they were mostly just kissing and cuddling. And at that point, it was said that they had been dating for about 2 months or so and were supposedly super in love. But there's just so many rumors floating around that it's really hard to pin down the real story. This time around though, it definitely seems like there's a bit more truth to it. Moving on, Kim Kardashian just said something that Kourtney Kardashian really did not want to hear. The sisters were fighting once again in the season 4 premiere of The Kardashians, when they were watching edits from their arguments in the previous season. And right away, you could tell that Kourtney was getting fired up. She said, "It makes me not want to be around, and that's totally your choice and decision. I just think we should have a conversation about it because nothing happened at the wedding. Nothing was a conversation at the wedding." Then they go back and forth about last season's argument over Kim's campaign with Dolce & Gabbana. Kourtney then said that Kim has an egotistical, selfish mind, and in response, she said that her sister is just different now. Quote, "You're just different. You hate us, you're a different person, we all talk about it." Then Kourtney said, "Why? Because I don't need you guys anymore? I don't need to be a part of it." And this is when things got really heated, because Kim said that all of Kourtney's friends have called her to complain about her. She said, "We were all concerned. We all think that you're just really not happy." Kourtney then insisted that she does in fact have a happy life, but the happiness only comes in when she finally gets away from her family. So the conversation here takes a big turn when Kim tells her that her own kids have even come to her with problems that they have with how she is. And that's really the sentence that seems to break Kourtney, because she completely snaps. She tells Kim, "Is that helpful? You're like adding it into a fight to have a side like it's you and my friends and my kids and everyone against me. Like you're just an effing witch and I hate you." So this fight was pure and utter chaos, and just goes to show how strained the relationship between Kim and Kourtney has become. I mean, it's nothing short of toxic. So their last fight happened when Kourtney got upset that Kim was doing the Dolce & Gabbana show. In the scene, she was sitting across from Kendall and talking about Kim's role in the show. She then puts her face in her hands and starts to cry, saying she sees it as a $sign. "Sorry, it just upsets me, because it's not just about business. It's legit copying my wedding." Later on in the interview, Kim asks her if she's mad, and she seems to genuinely be thrown off by the whole question. The issue between Kim and Kourtney started at her wedding to Travis Barker. So Dolce & Gabbana Garner designed her wedding dress when she was married to him for a third time in May of 2022. Shortly after their wedding, Kim created a collaboration with them, and she made a very memorable appearance at their show during Milan Fashion Week. Then in a confessional, Kourtney said, "My sister used my wedding as a business opportunity." So she thinks that Kim stole some of her limelight just to be able to profit off of that same brand. And at this point, Kendall seemed to side with Kourtney because she said that her wedding vibes were stripped from her, whereas Kim had no idea how they even came to this conclusion. She said, "I'm really confused at how this narrative came into her head. I couldn't have been any more mindful. I said, don't do anything Kourtney wore to her wedding." But apparently things got so bad that Kourtney removed herself from all 4 of their family group chat, which means that she was genuinely really upset about this whole collaboration. Thankfully, Kim did speak a little bit about this fight recently, and she said that she and Kourtney have smoothed things over. Quote, "We've been there before and we'll always be okay. We're always family. That's just how we were raised." So it turns out that the actual show created a lot of these arguments between them. Kim said, "You film it, you think you're all good, we make up, and then you edit it, and I'm seeing all these things that she said behind my back, and she's saying all these things that I'm saying behind her back, and the tension rises all over again. It gets really tricky and it gets really emotional, but at the end of the day, we still love sharing our life." So hopefully that's just what's going to happen this time around as well. When it comes to their show, some of their fights are very clearly just made up for the cameras, but sometimes you can actually tell that the sisters have real beef with each other, and that's when things get really interesting. Speaking of cameras and Kim Kardashian, the new season of American Horror Story is turning out to be pretty scandalous. For some reason, the writers have decided to take shots at Olivia Wilde and accused her of gaslighting people over the Don't Worry Darling press tour drama. The AHS story follows Emma Roberts' Anna, who is an actress desperate to have a baby and an Oscar. Alongside her is Kim Kardashian, who plays Siobhan, her publicist, and she is helping her through it and attempting to manage her public image along the way. So in episode 2, Anna experiences a horrific vomiting episode on stage while accepting a Gotham Award. Mortified and panicking about what her next move will be, she looks to Siobhan for help. She then gets in full Kris Jenner mode and suggests that they pull a wild card. While the Don't Worry Darling premiere is not mentioned by name, it's not hard to see exactly what they're referring to. She literally says, "We are going to pull a wild card," as in Olivia Wilde. Siobhan explains it by saying, "Don't mention what happened and wait until everyone forgets, / low-key gaslight people that do ask, and make them think that they're the problem because, you know, sexism." So for those who aren't well versed on the Don't Worry Darling drama, here's basically what happened. Reports of conflict between Olivia and the film's lead Florence Pugh came out, and that was seemingly fueled by the fact that Olivia and Harry Styles started dating during filming. Rumors then started circulating that Olivia was not always present on set because of her relationship with Harry, and the fact that Florence did nothing to promote the film added even more fuel to the fire. All the rumors then led to a huge amount of backlash towards Olivia on social media, which many people claimed was rooted in sexism. During the film's press tour, she vaguely addressed the barrage of questions about some of the rumors, but she mostly just ignored it all. And now, over a year after it all happened, AHS is shading the hell out of Olivia's response, and it's hilarious. Unsurprisingly, people have some thoughts about what the show decided to do. They tweeted things like, "Kim K's Olivia Wilde line on AHS Delicate shocked me," and "Play the Olivia Wilde card. Hook up with an actor in a movie we're directing while neglecting the movie itself." But of course, not everyone joined in on the hate train. There were also a lot of people coming to her defense. One person criticized the writers for dragging a woman who's already been relentlessly publicly shamed, all just to get some headlines for the show. To add to that, they insinuated that sexism is overused as a justification. So there's really no doubt that the line was a little problematic. From a social media standpoint, it definitely worked. There are now more people talking about American Horror Story than ever before, and realistically, we all know that the show kind of went downhill after season 3, so it's not that surprising that the writers are willing to do pretty much anything to get people hyped for this season. That's probably why they cast Kim Kardashian as well.